Herobrine is perhaps the most famous legend in all of gaming, and due to his infamy, many of Minecraft's smaller but still very popular urban legends and myths have been overshadowed by him. One such is that of the story of Entity 303, a now mostly forgotten legend in the Minecraft world. Entity 303's rapid rise to fame could not be predicted, appearing in thousands of YouTube videos, many with tens of millions of views. It became so known at one point that even Notch himself would tweet about it. But the story of Entity 303 has gradually been lost to time, and what everyone thinks is his origin is not quite as it seems. The true mystery of Entity 303 is the history and story behind it. Who created Entity 303? What happened to Entity 303? How did Entity 303 become so known? And why did one user mysteriously change the story forever? On December the 17th, 2013, a video would be uploaded to YouTube by a small YouTuber named TheSpeed179. But first, this video is sponsored by OperaGX, operagx.gg/TheMisterEpic2. So you all remember how not too long ago now I made a 72-minute long video, right? Well, to make that video, at one stage I had about 139 Chrome tabs open with important info, and it became so laggy and unusable that I downloaded OperaGX, imported all my settings from Chrome with just a few clicks like so, and switched to OperaGX right there and then. It was genuinely the only browser that didn't lag with all of this open. And to ensure that I was able to record the best possible footage and clips for you all, I even would use the GX control feature to limit OperaGX's RAM and CPU usage so I could get the best possible game performance and easily switch back after. No other browser lets you do this, and without it, you'd probably be watching more of a low FPS slideshow than a beautiful cinematic clip. And even outside of gaming and computer performance, OperaGX still has every other browser beat. You guys all like Minecraft mods, right? I mean, we all use them after all, so you should just as easily love Minecraft mods in OperaGX, right? That's right, OperaGX has a huge variety of mods, such as this one here called the Minecraft Experience, which not only adds this serene animated background, but also this awesome background music and satisfying sound effects that play when you do various things. Lovely. There's a lot of these to choose from in the GX store with their own background, sound effects and themes. You can go full Zen mode with Blockified, go underwater with this immersive aquarium theme, or get the skeleton theme. On second thought, maybe not, but at least you can customize and control everything that can be enabled and disabled within the settings. You can even download cool animated wallpapers from OperaGX's add-on section that can be used in combination with the mods. And if you want to cheat on assignment, I mean, if you want to ask for help with assignments, homework, or just anything in general, you can easily access Aria, Oprah's version of ChatGPT, from the sidebar and ask it anything you want. Support the channel by downloading OperaGX at operagx.gg/TheMisterEpic2. That's TheMisterEpic and the number 2. You don't lose anything for trying. It's completely free, give it a go and click the link in the description box below. The video is a recording of a PowerPoint presentation about the new Herobrine incident, Entity 303.
The new Herobrine incident, Entity 303. A new ghost has appeared in Minecraft. It appears to only be in creative mode and has only been experienced in Xbox 360 edition so far. However, many victims have experienced this beloved nightmare.
In the video, TheSpeed179 documents his paranormal experiences whilst playing Minecraft on the Xbox with his friends.
12/13/2013. I was playing with some friends on Xbox 360, and we were in a creative mode building a huge city. The world was also on peaceful mode. We were all having a great time until someone's house started burning.
As The Speed says, supposedly whilst playing on peaceful mode with his friends, someone started griefing. Initially blaming the world's host, they soon realized they were wrong when investigating, noticing TNT going off by itself in the distance. As they continued to examine the houses, more of them began to alight, but fire spread was turned off. TNT explosions also continued to ring out in the distance, despite the fact that all the server's players, including the host, were present together. TheSpeed179 had had enough. He plugged in a cable from his Xbox into his computer, then promptly opened up a program used to read the source to see what was going on.
I plugged in an anonymous cable in my Xbox and into my computer. I opened up a program used to read the source codes that were going on. To my surprise, the source codes described this entity as 303.
It was at this point that the source code began displaying weird Entity 303 codes. His computer was being overwhelmed by it, and there was nothing he could do. He did manage to get these messages from the source though, notably with one line spelling out the phrase, "Make a wish." Furthermore, there were also a variety of logs from a strange user named 303 using flint and steel on TNT, as well as wood. The Speed 179 decides to do more research into this strange 303 entity, eventually coming across a few people on the Minecraft forums who had also seen it. One PC player managed to take this low quality screenshot of what appeared to be a white figure in the distance, seen on his and his friend's private Himachi server. The Speed managed to somehow make out this skin from the low quality screenshot, a ghostly white figure with blood red eyes and a white hood. The Speed 179 was confused. He thought this had all been Herobrine's doing, not this weird red-eyed figure. So he continued to look on the forums when suddenly a mysterious profile began messaging him. It only said a few things before leaving the chat. Notch will think you are crazy when he sees this. Unironic foreshadowing, by the way. You are next. The Speed tried to click on the profile, but it 404'd. The strange figure left the Speed 179 one final inbox message. What happened to Herobrine? I replaced him. He has died. He is no longer with us, nor anyone else. Notch has denied me so many times, but I am the new Herobrine. I'm 303. Goodbye, human. After this, the Speed 179's account was deleted. He concludes his video mentioning he has yet to find more information about 303 online, of which he theorizes is because they are all scared of this 303 entity, and as such made this video in an attempt to get help from other people who may see it.
I recommend not looking for him, dudes. It will be far too dangerous. This is your choice.
And thus, the legend of Entity 303 began. Well, sort of, as excluding the Speed 179 sighting, it seemed not a single other person would encounter or post their experiences with Entity 303. Well, besides two individuals. On March the 3rd, 2014, a random player named Enderlem Animation would post this 15-second video of their Entity 303 encounter in Minecraft Pocket Edition. Make of this as you will. Then, a few weeks later in March again, another small channel would make an Entity 303 video, this time claiming Entity 303 to be fake, although all the video contained was a summary of the Speed 179's original video, with the video's length mysteriously being exactly 3 minutes and 3 seconds long. 303. The mystery behind Entity 303 was already fading into obscurity. The Speed 179 would return in late May of 2014 with an update on his documentary, this time a Windows Movie Maker-esque production where he states that Entity 303 is now unstoppable and cannot be destroyed anymore, even going as far as to try to take down his first documentary video. The Speed supposedly received a variety of messages from random users to take down his video, and from the numbers in these usernames was able to decode a message. I am Entity 303. I am the future of Herobrine. Herobrine is a pathetic teddy bear with blank eyes. How is that scary? It isn't, and Notch will pay for firing me. My life was in Mojang, and now it's in a trash can. The war has only begun, and by 2015, everyone will know about me. You will not stop me, kid. The rest of the video isn't too notable, but we learn some of the common signs of Entity 303 are random trees with misplaced wood and an upside down netherrack cross, which means Entity 303 could be part of the Illuminati, okay? And supposedly the way to prevent him from appearing in your world was to keep your Herobrine spawners to a specific number. This information was courtesy of Headshot Productions TV, another smaller Minecraft channel of which made videos about Herobrine. 3 weeks later, the Speed 179 would upload the third part of the documentary titled The War. Supposedly, our favorite video game was about to enter a giant catastrophe, of which Mojang was not going to help. Basically, 303 was going to launch an attack or war against all of Minecraft in 2015, and was already present in everybody's worlds. There are another 2 video parts of this documentary series that's released in July of 2014, but by this point it no longer mattered, as Entity 303 had left the control of its creator, the Speed 179, and now was rapidly spreading across the internet. Throughout mid-2014, a variety of videos began popping up all over YouTube, getting hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. Sightings, story videos, animations, and more. Entity 303 had somehow entered the YouTube limelight, and now tens of thousands of players were crafting their own experiences and stories with him. The Speed 179's final 2 documentary parts took the story in a strange direction, claiming Herobrine had always been our friend, and the various things he did, like like set houses on fire, were only to show us all what Entity 303 had been doing, and he would disappear when we pursued him because he was afraid we would hurt him. Interestingly, the Speed used the last 2 minutes of this documentary to instead call out people faking sightings of Entity 303, as well as calling out other people for claiming they created Entity 303 instead of him. The Speed 179 knew he no longer had control of the story, and the comments reflected that. Many people would comment saying it was fake, he didn't create 303, or that the Speed 179 just wanted attention. And honestly, that last statement was probably true. Unlike Herobrine, whose recognizable story remained almost the same throughout the years, Entity 303's true story was not spread nearly as much, and as such, the Speed 179 felt he wasn't being fairly recognized for it, and in a last-ditch attempt, was attempting to remind everyone of Entity 303's origins, attempting to steer the legend in his own direction. By this point, it was already too late though. Not too late to subscribe though. If you do want to see more videos like this in the future, you know what to do. No pressure. Throughout the rest of 2014, 2015, and even 2016, Entity 303 would leave its mark on internet history. In fact, it became so notable that Notch himself would even put out a frustrated tweet, likely in response to people relentlessly asking him about it. Like Herobrine, people would claim to see Entity 303 in their worlds, even when the Speed 179 would outright tell these people that Entity 303 wasn't real. But Entity 303 was about to undergo its biggest mystery yet. Like Herobrine, you might think that the Entity 303 story would only become less and less mysterious and less popular over the years as players grew up and moved on from the game. But for some reason in 2017, the Entity 303 story changed, and with it brought an entire new wave of popularity, far surpassing what it had reached before. While anybody could look up the story of Herobrine, which had been extensively documented despite the mystery behind his origins, Entity 303's mostly clear origins were always left more ambiguous. If you Google Entity 303, which many people who first heard about it did, the first result which comes up is the Entity 303 entry on the Minecraft Creepypasta wiki. For over 10 years now, this wiki is the only place where you can find the true backstory behind Entity 303. There is no other source that has it clearly documented besides the Speed 179's various videos, of course. But for some reason, in August of 2017, almost 4 years after the Speed created Entity 303, and this creepypasta page was made, a user on the creepypasta wiki named YoshFiko123 would change the story. Prior to this wiki edit, this is what the page looked like. You can see the Speed 179's encounter with Entity 303 is the only one listed, despite it for some reason saying this is the second encounter. But after this edit, an entirely new encounter was present, supposedly the first ever Entity 303 encounter, an encounter which the Speed 179 to my knowledge did not create, and has never been mentioned anywhere else online prior. The story would become the Entity 303 legend, reported in various YouTube videos and Reddit posts, despite nobody knowing where it originated from and why it was added. It became the story Entity 303 was remembered for, and the story goes like this. On December the 11th, 2013, a few days prior to the Speed 179's first video on Entity 303, supposedly he received an email from a fan named Frankie, the first person to ever speak out about 303. Hi Speed, my name is Frankie. I'm a huge fan of Minecraft and I've been playing for about 2 years now. Every day after school, me and my friend John would always play on his private server. He was a bit of a noob at Minecraft, but since he was pretty rich, he decided to buy a private server so he could play multiplayer survival, along with my friends Vincent and Brady. As the story goes, one day this group of friends were all in a Skype chat working on a huge survival city they built in a desert named Dry Bones. But then suddenly, out of the blue, John noticed something strange in chat. A plugin on the server called Social Spy, a plugin which lets you see specific messages and commands from other players, was detecting that something named player.number303 was using the command /stop. John supposedly was a very anxious person and immediately thought a hacker was trying to shut down the server. Frankie was equally as confused, knowing that this was a private server which he had set up the plugins for. He didn't understand how someone could join or what this message was. Regardless, the group of friends decided to ignore the strange incident and continue on playing survival. It's about 20 minutes in, and I'm walking with Vincent to the nearest forest to grab wood, which wasn't very near at all. All of a sudden, we see a white figure in the distance of the desert. It appeared to be shaped like some type of ghostly figure, with red eyes that I could barely make out. I quickly took a screenshot and ran after it. For some reason, Vincent Vincent's player stood still. I assume it's just lag, but he's not even speaking in the Skype call. I check Skype and ask if he's still online. No answer, he's not even in the call anymore. The figure has now disappeared from the game, Vincent has disconnected from the server, John is freaking out, and Brady is just ignoring everyone and focusing on building. Frankie tries to call Vincent's phone, but it goes straight to voicemail, and the texts don't deliver either. Frankie and Brady decide to look for the white figure, but then suddenly Frankie's screen starts glitching out as if it were corrupted. The chat starts spamming objects successfully summoned by player.number 303. Someone new has joined the Skype call with no username. John is freaking out and Brady leaves the call-in server. While Frankie tries to calm John down, he keeps repeating, "I can't take this. This is too much for me." The anonymous Skype caller finally puts facecam on. It's too dark to see anything. John gets too overwhelmed and leaves the call-in server. I don't blame him. If he stayed any longer, he'd probably have a mental breakdown. It's just me and this anonymous player. I ask if there's anyone there. I hear a faint voice saying something like, "Make a wish." It was faint, yet it sounded like a voice changer. I decide to switch onto Minecraft to see if the player is there. The chat then spams with file overload in red text, along with make a wish in grey text. I suddenly get poisoned with a potion of blindness. I then lose my ability to move. I can't even turn off my computer or exit out of Minecraft. This player then runs up to me. It seemed to have a ghostly skin on with red eyes and a white parka. The chat then says one more thing, make a wish and say goodbye to your friends. The Skype call drops and somehow exits out by itself, and the player runs up to me and hits me. For some reason, it makes that oof noise that used to exist in beta and earlier. My computer then shuts off. I try to turn it on, but to no avail. I try using my phone, but the internet is down. After this bizarre experience, Frankie waits 3 hours before turning on his computer again, only to realize when doing so that everything is deleted except the recycling bin. He tries calling his friends, but none of them answer, so he just decides to go to bed. The next day at school, Brady is the only one there. John and Vincent have gone missing. The police couldn't find any clues as to where they were. Frankie ditches school and walks to John's house. I decide to ditch school and walk to John's house to see if he's there. I see his mother sitting on the steps crying. I ask if she's okay, and she says that John apparently committed suicide. Not in the house, most likely snuck out to end his life. She handed me a piece of paper that she claimed to have been left on John's computer table. I read the note carefully. I can't take this anymore. I can't sleep. I'm afraid he's watching me. I can't live like this knowing that someone is after me, wanting me to die a slow, painful death. I'm sorry, Mum. I love you. On the back of the paper was the familiar phrase, make a wish. Frankie then goes to Vincent's house and after sneaking in, sees in the bathroom written in red marker the words, make a wish. This is when Frankie realizes that these weren't just coincidences. If you get this email speed, and if you ever encounter 303 again, I want you to quickly close out of your Minecraft and shut down your computer. I don't want you to end up like Vincent or John. Please be careful. If I get more information, I'll contact you immediately. Good luck. And that is the Entity 303 story, which is now known. The mystery behind who wrote it, why it was added randomly one day, and where it came from is still unknown. Clearly, whoever wrote it knew of the Speed 179's videos, mentioning the Make-A-Wish phrase the Speed came up with, as well as using the same design for 303 the Speed described. But unlike the Speed's first video on 303, where he mentions 303 may only be present on the Xbox version of the game, this supposed first encounter takes place on a PC server, leading me to believe that the Speed is not the creator of this first encounter story, only adding to the mystery of Entity 303. In the meantime though, the Speed 179 continued to make a few Entity 303 videos, but his version of the story had gone well off the rails and had become something related to a former Minecraft employee who was fired, becoming Entity 303 to hack and get revenge on Notch. It stopped being as interesting, that's for sure. The Speed 179 did reveal a few interesting things about Entity 303 in 2 fact videos though, such as the first sighting picture being simply a random picture he found on Google, the fact that the Entity 303 skin he had also found on Google was likely based on this character from Fairy Odd Parents, and once again he calls out many of the people who tried to take credit for his creation. Most interestingly though, he mentions here about 1 minute and 20 seconds in that the first sighting guy never existed. Now, I don't think this is referring to the same first sighting as on the Creepypasta wiki, as that wasn't added until over 2 years after this video was made. The Speed 179 179 also mentions that his team nor Entity 303's team ever existed, so it seems to be referring to something else entirely. The Speed 179 also began receiving a lot of pressure to reveal if Entity 303 was actually real or not, to which he eventually did, calling the whole ordeal simply an experiment. You can actually see some of the backlash in his original 5-part documentary series. People really took this Entity 303 stuff seriously at the time, with even another YouTuber making a video where he exposes the Speed for saying that Entity 303 isn't real. It didn't matter anyways, as like I said, the Speed 179's version of Entity 303 was mostly forgotten to time, as the internet took the idea and various individuals gave their own interpretation of it. Even the skin would end up changing slightly somewhere along the way. The Speed 179's final Entity 303 video would release in early 2017, although only a few months ago now in December of 2023, he would release his final video overall, where he celebrates the 10th anniversary of Entity 303's creation, amazed at how a creepypasta he created as a kid managed to go so far. While today Entity 303 is now mostly forgotten, hopefully the true story behind it all will not be lost again. Be sure to subscribe and check out Oprah GX with my link in the description below. Thank you all so much for watching.